Hello, 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 my darlings. Thank you for joining me on A Slice of Life, A Slice of Life. You know what? I want to talk to you today, not as a counselor, because I'm not, and not as, oh, look at my glasses all caught up in here. I talk to you as Georgianne. And I want to talk about loss. I got some friends that's dealing with loss. They have lost their spouse, their partner, their husbands, their wives. They have lost people close to them. And one day my mother told me, she said, one day you're going to look around and ain't going to be nobody but you. And I know somebody right now that's dealing with that. She looked around and there's nobody but her. Everybody's gone except her. That's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow. I've been trying to get on the phone. I haven't been able to get on the phone. I think I got on the phone for just a minute. And then I tried to get on the phone. I haven't been able to get her on the phone. So it's nobody. It's nobody. It's nobody. Even the dog. The dog died. So how do you talk to people? What do you say? You know, the best thing to do is be a good friend and I don't know what can you offer a person who doesn't have anything else. As a Christian, you say you offer them Jesus. She got the whole church. She's in a big church here in Atlanta, and you know, it's not enough to hold her here. She doesn't want to stay here. Do you have some people that they have lost everybody, they don't want to stay here? They just said, I'm tired. And you can get tired. I get tired. Do any of you get tired? You have to be a certain age, I think, to get tired. So if you're 45, 55, 65, you don't get tired. Maybe 72, you still got that kick. But somewhere along the way, sometimes I get tired at 83. And so I just talk about me being tired sometimes. Sometimes I ask myself what it's all for. I was talking to another girlfriend of mine tonight, and she said she keeps herself busy, and so do I. But it's my person who's struggling with loss. You got to get busy. You got to do this. You got to dive, baby. You got to dive. You got to dive deep, and you got to be busy. You know how your feet are busy and your arms are busy if you're gonna swim, and so you got to dive in and you got to swim. You can't float. You can't get on your back and float. You got to swim. You got to exert energy. You see, you said, Georgian, how you do all this? If I don't do all the things if I hadn't done this summer, I don't know where I would be. You see, this is a product of saying these 5 books. It's a product of saying I got to keep doing something. I got to keep going because that loss thing. When you lose everybody in your family, even the dog, when you lose and you feel like it's nothing to grab onto, you grabbing onto straws, you got to stay busy. So because my mother used to say all the time, night follows day and day follows night. You got to let night follow day and day follow night. It's got to be automatic. You got to be doing something. Because I promise you, when you just sit and be still, it'll weigh down on you. It'll weigh down on you. I know it's to be still and know I'm God. I said that on yesterday. That's a whole different kind of still. I'm talking about just waiting for him to talk to you. The striving for things that but you got to get busy and be busy and be busy for others. See, all my books are dedicated to the community. I don't care about the money. It ain't no money to be made. It's all right with me. I want people to have, I want them to have the work. I have 2 more books. I want people to have it. I want people to use it. I want people to take them and use them throughout the city of Atlanta, throughout the United States. I just take them, you know. Um, I got other things. I gotta stay busy because I'm dealing with a loss. I'm dealing with a loss. This is what Georgia, what loss? Who passed away? You see, you can have different loss, or different kinds of loss, sis. Where's Anise Chaney Jones? You know, she get that grammar tight. Anyway, it could be the loss of personhood, and be the loss motivation, the loss of self-esteem. It's a lot of loss. It's a lot to loss. You know, loss of your job, loss of your income, you know, loss of a love in your life that you love dearly. All kinds of loss that we're dealing with. And so, how do you offset that? I'm busy. I don't have any. So, what you trying to prove? I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm trying to not. Wait a minute. I take that back. I'm trying to prove to myself that I can keep living and not give up. And the only way I know how to do that is to become very busy, to get very involved, and let night follow day and day follow night until God calls me home. That's what I have to do. I have to do that. And so my friends that are suffering from a loss, I encourage them to get busy. We got YouTube, we got podcasts, we got books, we got travel. One young lady I spoke with today talked about how she traveled somewhere just for the day. When I worked for the airline, we did that all the time. We traveled for the day. That's a wonderful feeling. It's a change of scenery for the day. It's an effort to combat the feeling of loss. The nobody's coming to get you. Everybody's gonna say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. What can I do?" No. It's got to be you. And I don't know how to get to my friend. I'm gonna let some of my other classmates get to my friends and some of my other church people and some of my other club people. All of them get, all of them go and talk. And because I don't know how, I don't know what to do other than what I know how to do, and that's to stay busy. So I'm saying to somebody on the other side of the screen, you're suffering the same thing of a loss. You can't help but feel that person is not there. That person been your anchor. That person could be gone on with another partner, another wife, another husband, a friend that's gone out of your life. That's the same kind of loss. Or it could go on to heaven. You see? It's a loss. You have been supervising on a job for the last 15 years. You've been enjoying it. You know how to do that job backwards and forwards. Your department has always got number one in merit, ratings, etc. ad infinitum. It's gone. That's a loss. That job is not there. And the job defines your personhood. And so here we have people who have lost their job, regular income. They may or may not get it back, depending on the shutdown, depending on what 45 or 47 make a determination what to do with the jobs, wholesale laying off, wholesale firing. We don't know, but all of that equals LOSS. You say, well, how you going to get busy when the light, gas, and water? That's when I told you to get, I've talked about this. Preparation. And you knew in December, you knew in November rather, who won the election. So I'm hoping you prepare, but that notwithstanding, this was the year for your kid to go to school, But then, and now it's right here in your face at Christmas. let's do some with those $9 trillion, and let's put some money in a pot and let's help one another. Let's be our own bank. You know, back in the day, see, people laughed at the number runners. I know you don't know anything about number runners. I'm talking to the senior Atlanta people, or the senior Indiana people, the senior Chicago people, the senior Detroit people, the number runners. See, they used to have bank. You know, I'm not talking about the mafia. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the number runners, the ones who grandmama, they used to make sure the church stayed open. You know, y'all don't. So we don't want none of that money. Right? Okay. I'm just talking about, but it was community, and they had community money. A lot of number runners' money paid people to go to college in Atlanta, Georgia. Somebody witnessed. I know they did it. It's, well, how you know that? You up in Gary? Well, you know I'm a researcher. And you know I was down here in 1960. And I married an Atlantan, so that put me right in the middle of all that was going on here. It was a sense of community. And right now we need to get that sense of community back so that we can help one another get over this hump, so we can take that energy that person needs to get energized enough to do what God has, that next thing God has for them to do. Y'all with me on that? They can't do it from the bottom. We need somebody to pull them up, get them ready so they can soar. You can do that. You can do that. Mm-hmm. You can do that. You can do that. Mm-hmm. I know some people with a lot of money, and they're the only people I know that's going to take their money with them. I had a person say, my money going to my grandchildren. And, well, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. Because the people have gone on to heaven, and the money didn't make it to the grandchildren because the children went through it. And the grandchildren didn't get a dime because ain't nothing to get. You all see what I'm saying? If you got some money to help somebody, why don't you help somebody? Why don't you start a fund somewhere and help somebody? Nobody has to know. We're not ringing bells and putting out a sign. Guess what? We got no. You know, you hear about somebody in your church, in your neighborhood that's part of that. Do an anonymous something then. But let's come together and do something. Let's do something. A loss is a loss. It's a loss. It's a loss. And so we got to help one another. We have to help humankind and mankind. And whatever you could do, people would be grateful for it. Whatever, like one day, this person had something left over. They were doing something, and they left it at my back door. They said, I know you have a child there. We had this, and so I left it at your back door. Now, I was grateful for that because there was something in it that she could use. You never know with anybody. You can't make an assumption about anything. If you have something and you got 5 of them, and you don't need but one, you still got 4. You're gonna let them rotten or get thrown away? I remember when I was really sick, my neighbor, she was sick herself. Some kind of way she would struggle up my driveway and say I brought this box. Now I couldn't do anything with the box. I was too sick to even get the box. But I would go get it just because she wanted me to have the box. And I've always been grateful for her kindness because she said she's sick. Now I'm going to give her something. And it was always one of the things in the box that I could do something with. Because, I had that infusion chemo. That wasn't a whole lot I could do. But I'm grateful. Small things make a difference. What can you do to help somebody? And if you need some help, what is it that we can do to help you? You see what's going on. It's not getting better. It's just not getting better. But we don't have to. It doesn't have to get worse for us. We got $9 trillion. One. We got the beloved community, if we can remember what it meant. Two. And we're Christians, we got Jesus on our side. Three. And if you're black in America, raised by a black family, and especially one from the South, then baby, you know how to pray. Four. I love you. And you can't do anything about it.